This is Nightline.
Tonight, the twisted tale of Amanda Knox.
Amanda Knox is a real person, not just an idea of a person.
The case that gripped the world, the American college student accused of murdering her roommate in Italy. What she says really happened under interrogation.
Why would you confess to something you didn't do?
Her series shedding new light on the harrowing ordeal and teaming up with an unlikely partner.
Of all the people in the world who could reach out to me, knowing what it felt like to be me, absolutely that was Monica.
And the surprising conversation with the prosecutor she once called her hunter.
I wanted to give him the thing that he hadn't given me, which was the benefit of the doubt.
Plus, Jason Bateman, the Emmy-winning director and star of Ozark.
What we're not going to do, though, is panic, okay?
Back on the big screen in Zootopia 2 as the voice of foxy Nick Wilde.
And now we leave town.
We're behind the scenes on the sequel, why he says voice acting is a dangerous business.
They learned early on that don't make him scream in the beginning because then he's got to go home.
And Dancing with the Stars, the red-hot after-party with the cast, the ABC exclusive.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, Amanda Knox with her own story of a murder and her fight for justice, one swept up in a global media frenzy, now controlling her own narrative. Executive producing a series on the traumatic events that came close to costing the then college student everything. Here's my Nightline co-anchor, Juju Chang, with another look.
Amanda Knox is a real person, not just an idea of a person. Amanda Knox is a mother, a writer, a wife, and doing the best she can with the worst that she's been given.
Amanda Knox says what she was given was more than 2 decades of being prosecuted and persecuted. She says she's here to set the record straight.
You've been quoted as saying that you're still, all these years later, fighting a wrongful conviction.
This is a universal experience for wrongly convicted people. Is like once the accusation is there, it never goes away. You have to figure out how to not feel diminished and trapped by this experience and instead propelled and uplifted by it.
She was the American studying abroad in Italy, a junior from the University of Washington. But just weeks into her semester, it all fell apart.
The house she chose turned into a murder scene.
Much has been said about Amanda, and is she capable of murder?
Her British roommate, 21-year-old Meredith Kircher, found raped and brutally murdered in their apartment in Perugia, her throat slashed. Police honing in on Amanda and her boyfriend of 8 days, Raffaele Sollecito. She says she was badgered by authorities in a grueling interrogation that lasted 53 hours over 5 days, which ended with her falsely claiming under duress that she'd been at the scene as Meredith was being murdered.
I'm sleep deprived, I'm isolated, I eventually get yelled at, I am being lied to, I'm being hit. It is going on and on and on until I am led to believe by the police that I have witnessed the crime, but I don't remember it. But if I want to be a collaborator with the police, I need to remember it right now. And then hours later, I recant and I realize that it was all a big mistake, but by then, it's too late.
That mistake would haunt her for years. Her fight for freedom sparking a frenzy. Amanda caught in the crush of media attention, changing her life forever. Now, the saga, an 8-part series, Grace Van Patten stepping into the role of Amanda.
I had no idea that my dream...
Hello? Is anybody home?
...was about to become a nightmare.
Meredith?
Oh, my God.
For the twisted tale of Amanda Knox, one of the executive producers, Amanda herself.
The American girl killed the British one. No. 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 Yes. She confessed.
Her perspective shows an investigation that rushed to judgment. Her every move, like those kisses at the crime scene, dissected and often criticized. She spoke to Diane Sawyer about it years later in her first interview.
I felt very lost, very alone, and very vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
My friend had been murdered, and it could just have easily been me.
The series not shying away from those seemingly awkward, puzzling behaviors.
I don't look back on those years and those moments and cringe, because I'm a little more kind to myself than the world was. But yes, there are moments where, like, Amanda, me, was so oblivious and so naive and just had no idea, because until the worst experience of your life happens to you, you're not ready for it. You're not prepared for it.
Now an advocate for the wrongfully convicted with the Innocence Center. Knox partnering on the series with none other than Monica Lewinsky, who produced her own story on a season of American Crime Story.
Hi, handsome.
Hi.
The former White House intern, whose affair with then-President Bill Clinton touched off a similar media circus, now helping Amanda reclaim her narrative.
Of all the people in the world who could reach out to me, knowing what it felt like to be me and who could give me guidance, absolutely, that was Monica.
Who would know what it's like to be in the middle of a global media firestorm?
Right.
Amanda hopes to bust the true crime genre, blending facts with her own quirky touch.
Amanda. Hola, Amanda. Venga.
The thing that we've accomplished with this is breaking the mold of true crime and breaking the mold of biopic, and really allowing a more personal and a more creative approach, like really showing that they are not just characters, they are real people, and there are consequences for how we consume stories about real people.
The tabloid's fervor, splashing her story across front pages, twisting her childhood nickname, Foxy Knoxy. The prosecutor leaned into a sex orgy gone wrong theory, the media branding Amanda a killer.
Why would you confess to something you didn't do?
There is a process that police use to break you down, and one of the most fundamental pieces of that process is they lie to you. I was so young and I was speaking a foreign language and they're yelling at me like I was completely alone.
Europe's Human Rights Court later ordered Italy to pay Amanda roughly $20,000 in damages for failing to provide legal assistance and an independent interpreter.
What was it like walking onto these sets, recreating the most traumatic moments of your life?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Are you kidding me?
Was it triggering?
It was actually like I felt honored, because here were all these hundreds of people working to recreate these spaces so they could finally get this story right.
Amanda and Raffaele were both convicted for Meredith's murder, as well as a third man, Rudy Goudet, whose DNA was found all over the crime scene and served 13 years for the murder. Amanda spent 4 years in an Italian jail before being acquitted on appeal and set free. Her return to America playing out on live TV.
Thank you to everyone who's believed in me, who's defended me, who's supported my family.
But Knox's relief would be short-lived. In 2014, she was reconvicted, thanks to determined prosecutor Giuliano Menini. But 7 years after the murder, Italy's highest court definitively clearing her name on the murder charges in 2015. In 2022, she returned to Italy to face the man she refers to as her hunter, that same prosecutor once determined to keep her behind bars.
For me, it was really important because he had been the boogeyman my entire adult life. I wanted to really genuinely understand why he did this to me. And I wanted to see if there was any way that reconciliation was possible.
What did you get out of your meeting with the prosecutor?
I walked away with my own freedom. I finally took it back.
What did you give him?
I wanted to give him the thing that he hadn't given me, which was the benefit of the doubt.
In a 2022 interview with The Telegraph, that prosecutor said of Knox, "We have different ideas about the trial that involved us, but now I have a good opinion of her." Amanda also reuniting with her former flame and co-defendant, Raffaele, posing together at the premiere of the series.
He's doing so great now. Of course, he's had to confront his own version of this, right? Of being the guy who was accused of being Amanda's puppet and and also doing so in Italy.
Absent the family of Meredith Kircher, whose sister told The Guardian recently that she found it difficult to understand the purpose of the new show.
If you could, what would you say to them?
I would say to them that I hope they watch the show, and that I hope that we can finally one day reach each other and understand each other and reconcile, because we have so much in common. And what the tragedy of what befell Meredith, had a tragic implications in my life as well.
Now a married mother of 2, Amanda is still in the process of rebuilding her life and says it's her children who propel her.
I'm trying to create a world that's going to be kinder to my daughter than it was to me. And so this project is in part an attempt to do that.
Our thanks to Juju. For much more on this story, be sure to catch Search for the Truth, the Amanda Knox story, now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu. And now, a look ahead at tomorrow's show. Kris Jenner showing off what the new Stephanie can look like, one of many celebrities with the so-called Forever 35 facelift. And when we come back, exploring the world of Zootopia 2 with actor Jason Bateman, why he says voice acting is risky business.
They learned early on that don't make him scream in the beginning, because then he's got to go home.
After the break. Welcome back. Jason Bateman has had a long and storied Hollywood career on both sides of the camera. Now back behind the microphone as the voice of the Foxy Fox in the long-awaited animated sequel, Zootopia 2. Here's ABC's Chris Connolly.
What's the note you're usually getting when you're doing your voice work?
Let's do it again. I hear that a lot.
Never mind, forget I said it. Here we go.
They're good about, wanting just a bunch of different versions.
There have been a bunch of different versions of Jason Bateman that audiences have enjoyed over the last 40 years or so, from his days as a child actor on Little House on the Prairie.
Sandra, I meant what I said to Miss Triangles.
And on Silver Spoons.
I mean, how many 100% nerds are there in the world?
To his ever-embattled adult on Arrested Development.
I mean, it's one banana, Michael. What could it cost? $10?
You've never actually set foot in a supermarket, have you?
Now a major success at 56, Bateman bringing his sensibility to multiple mediums, including animation.
Your worst idea is what you did with your ears.
He's back as the voice of the crafty fox Nick Wilde, con artist turned cop.
Well, can't win them all.
For Zootopia 2, follow-up to the 2016 animated mega hit.
And now we leave town.
This movie was made, 9 years ago?
Yeah.
But the film takes place the week after the events of the first film.
And we haven't aged a bit. We look fantastic.
Acclaimed for big screen comedies, starring in Horrible Bosses.
You want to explain why you were doing 61 in a 25 zone?
I was drag racing.
In a Prius.
I don't win a lot.
And on streaming service drama series, like Ozark.
What we're not going to do, though, is panic, okay?
Bateman says he's enjoying the team mentality of animation.
It's antithetical to kind of what we do in live action. This, you're just a tiny little part, and you want to just be a good soldier.
All right, Carrots, any idea where you want to start?
Yeah! If you want to find you a reptile, I am your gal.
This is a really cool thing to be a part of. The folks over there at Disney Animation have been really crushing it for a long time.
Riff a lot while you're doing the lines that have been written for you.
I'm encouraged to by the writer himself, Jared Bush, who's also one of the directors. And so I keep saying to him, I don't need to. You've done an incredible job here. I can just do this. He says, yeah, great, but if you think of something. So the environment was very encouraging, supportive, warm.
All of it done alongside Jennifer Goodwin's do-gooder bunny, Judy Hopps.
We've been official partners for 1 week. Happy anniversary.
Us introverts, we need a good partner. I've got that with my wife, and in this case, I've got a good one with the effervescent, infectious Judy Hopps.
Bateman thinks Zootopia 2's core message will resonate just as much as the first movie did.
This thematic is a bit of an evergreen that is pretty relevant currently, which is to embrace the fact that we are all different. It's a good thing, and let's lean into that.
Bateman's real-life personality exemplified in his on-screen foxy character.
If you could have chosen the animal to be, do you think a fox is the animal you would have chosen, or is there another that sort of would have appealed to you?
There are some you would probably pass on, but not the foxy fox. His temperament is very similar to mine. He likes to lean back a little bit, let the other people do the talking, and then throw a bomb every once in a while.
This is our only chance to set things right.
And when I do, my family will finally be able to come home.
I am here. Pops and Wild. Dream team.
Mitch used to give you a note. Remember, he loves these people.
You know, the typical network note is, we got to make sure these characters are likable. So I'd always ask him, I'm like, are you sure they're likable? He says, Jason, our job as writers is to make these characters as despicable as possible. Your job as the actors to make them as likable as possible.
As Nick, mission accomplished, even during Zootopia 2's action sequences.
If we watched you recording these lines, would we see you getting yanked?
Yeah, there's literally a bar that you have to hold on to, or an efforts bar, I think is what it is. And there's a lot of screaming, and so they always made sure to have the screams be at the very end of my sessions, because I've got a weak voice that goes out a lot. So they learned early on that don't make him scream in the beginning, because then he's got to go home.
Home means spouse Amanda Anka and their 2 daughters, 19-year-old Franny, who's making it 3 generations of Bateman directors.
It's pretty neat that my daughter's taken this interest to directing. It obviously reminds me of my time with my dad and having that extra thing to talk about at the dinner table. It's another lane through which you can find out what makes your kid tick.
And 13-year-old Maple, now a baseball fan, thanks to the Dodgers World Series win.
I've introduced this addiction of baseball to her, and now she's sunk. She's got it for life now after that series. I've not been more entertained ever in my 56 years. Not movies, television, concerts, anything. That month of baseball was sensational.
Our thanks to Chris. Zootopia 2 is in theaters now. When we come back, the finalists of the most watched season in nearly a decade of Dancing with the Stars. Exclusive ABC Afterparty with the cast. And finally tonight, GMA's Dancing with the Stars Afterparty. It's our nightlight. Dancing with the Stars 5 finalists jetting straight to GMA Studios in New York City, winner Robert Irwin paying homage to his late father, conservationist Steve Irwin, and saying this victory feels like a new beginning.
I'm able to create my own legacy, and I hope in everything I do to make him proud.
The partners pulling back the curtain on the tricks of the trade, opening up about the obstacles they've overcome.
Going for something that's out of your comfort zone, I think, can be so rewarding. It's such a humbling process.
And basking in the glory of the show's hottest season in nearly a decade. And that's Nightline for this evening. Catch our full episodes on Disney Plus and Hulu. We'll see you right back here same time tomorrow. Thanks for the company, America. Good night.